Hi, good morning. Welcome back to another episode of Aviation Champions. I'm your host, Miranda Gahn. This morning, we have the pleasure of hosting Dr. Shem Malmquist. He is a professor, safety and accident investigator, and pilot, among many other important titles. Good morning, Shem. Thank you for joining us.
Oh, good morning. Thank you for having me.
So, Shem, very impressive resume. Tell us more about what you do and what your goals are for the year.
Well, I am currently I'm a retired Boeing 777 captain and a full-time professor at the Florida Institute of Technology, where I'm currently teaching courses primarily at the graduate level on things such as system safety engineering, accident investigation, complex aircraft systems coming up in the fall. My background has included a number of years of accident investigation, which I got pulled into in different ways, some time in flight management, and I became involved with working on new methods to identify systemic problems in safety, really now about 15 years ago, that were focused really on some methods that were developed out of MIT, the System Theoretic Accident Models and Processes. And we have been expanding and using those to really get to much more comprehensive understanding of accidents as well as risk analysis for future systems.
Well, that's really fascinating. So, if I understand you correctly, for short, it's referred to as the STAMP method, the Systems Theoretical Accident Model and Processes, where you use this model to research and do risk mitigation and also accident investigation. Is that right?
That's exactly right. And it's different than a lot of other methods because it does not use what we call linear causality, and meaning that we're not looking at one thing leading to another, which methods such as the domino model or even Swiss cheese, which is very popular, are really just linear models. This looks at the entire socio-technical system and understands why the controls in place did not work to prevent an accident, or when we're designing a new system, how those controls need to be designed to prevent an accident. It's now being implemented by pretty much all of the leading aerospace companies in designing future systems, and just starting to be added by some of the government accident investigation the groups, I guess, or entities. The New Zealand Civil Airworthiness Authority is one of the very first to use it for accident investigation formally, although it has been used informally by a number of others.
Wow. And so you teach on this method then at the university, and then I assume you employ this through your accident investigation work?
Absolutely. So it's interwoven into several of the courses that I teach, including the accident investigation, the safety engineering course. I also teach it outside. For example, I went down to New Zealand to teach the method to the New Zealand regulators. We also use it, and I use it extensively in my own work, where I use it to analyze systems as an expert witness to better understand why accidents happen and how the accidents happen, and just develop a really truly comprehensive picture that captures the entire dynamic and understands why it made sense for people or organizations to do what they did at the time.
Wow, that's really fascinating. So tell me a little bit about your company, Malmquist System Safety.
Well, in my own company, what I've been doing is offering services to a lot of the business has been expert witness work with various law firms in helping to understand how accidents happen and facilitating that litigation. I also have used it proactively in understanding systems that are being designed. The other area that I get involved with my own work is teaching advanced weather avoidance and aircraft weather radar, where I am very involved and have been for a number of years in teaching weather radar and also advanced models, these automated models for weather radar, their limitations, so pilots have a better idea of what they're facing and can avoid severe weather.
Wow. Can you give us an example of any of the cases you've worked on as an expert witness? Any little tidbits or things of interest that the audience might want to know?
Well, currently, I am involved with a fairly major case that I probably am not at liberty to discuss right now, or
Sure.
I guess I should check. I was involved with the Delta Airlines fuel jettison event over Los Angeles.
Oh, wow.
But the largest case I worked, I was an expert witness in the Air France 447 accident, where I got to experience Napoleonic law testifying in Paris for a week, which was quite interesting.
Wow. That's really fascinating. So, what is your big goal this year for your business for Malmquist, System Safety?
Well, one of the things that we're trying to do, not for my own personal business, but we're in the process of working to develop software that can help facilitate doing the type of analysis I do to make the method more accessible to other organizations and engineers that don't necessarily have to or don't have the resources to acquire the kind of expertise it takes to apply the methods. So that's something that's I think we're very excited about. Um, Still in the early stages of that, but hopefully that will make a pretty big difference to a lot of organizations. Separately, just using the tools that we have developed to support safety analysis in a number of cases, including new aircraft development, as well as safety at airlines and outside of the airline industry, looking at other factors such as suicide prevention, which is a whole other interesting area, but it's something that we can actually attack using these methods, which are engineering methods, but incredibly apply just as easily to understanding everything from medical error to social dynamics.
Well, it's really fascinating. So, you're applying science, engineering to human interaction with systems in a way that can reduce risk or analyze an accident and provide more interesting insight.
Exactly, and it's a method that has been cited by several in the industry that it's really the only hazard analysis method that can really identify unknown unknowns. The other ones that have been around for a long time, you can investigate um, known problems and identify the risk with those. But this really enables us to look at understanding potential problems that you didn't even realize were a problem. It's been really fascinating and extremely powerful.
So, tell our audience, how did you get into aviation?
Well, I started flying just living near an airport. I was an airport kid and hang around the airport, and that's what really started me on it. Although my early influence in terms of the engineering and the technical side was mostly due to two people. One was Tony Levere, who was the chief test pilot for Lockheed from the Vega up to just around the time of the SR program. And he provided a lot of mentorship. The other person was a woman named Iris Critchell, who was a professor at uh, the Harvey Mudd College in engineering. But her background was originally one of the original WASP pilots during World War II,
Oh, wow.
and went on to literally found several aeronautics programs and was a huge influence in my life as well. So those two people together. Iris, by the way, also swam the 1936 Summer Olympics in Berlin, which was just a fascinating woman. She just passed away not long ago.
Wow, what a great mentor and inspiration. So, if you had one bit of advice to give someone who is approaching a career in aviation, what would it be?
Well, of course, it depends on what your goals are. But if your goals are to do something kind of what I've done, I would recommend people look at I would call it the margins between two fields. The most interesting work and the most interesting things are always on the cusp between two different fields or two different areas of research. And those overlaps and that kind of gray area in between provides the most fertile area to make new discoveries and find things that are really interesting that nobody else is doing. There's a lot of people that specialize in one thing or another, but if you can kind of go in between those things and capture the ways they interface, it becomes extremely fascinating.
Wow. Well, we really appreciate the advice. So tell us, Shem, if someone wants to find out more about what you do or look into your accident investigation work and expert witness work, how can they get a hold of you?
Well, my website, malmquistsafety.com, and there is my email, just shem at malmquistsafety.com. It's probably the easiest way for that type of work. And of course, people also can find me at Florida Tech as well. So that's a fairly easy search. And I guess I probably have another, LinkedIn, whatnot. It's available as well. So definitely active on LinkedIn.
Great. Well, we really appreciate your time today. Thank you so much for joining us. We wish you the best and look forward to seeing what you do with your new software.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me.